11 million, 26 million, 45 million, 83 million. Do you know what those numbers are? Those are the viewership increase for the Game Awards. So in 2017, it was 11 million people tuned in. Last year, it was 83 million. Okay, if you're Geoff Keighly, and what you're saying is, and I like Geoff, I have talked to him on a number of occasions. He's always been a very nice man. I'm incredibly inspired and jealous of the guy's hustle. He's a fucking monster. In a good, I don't mean he's a bad guy. I mean, he's like a workhorse. He's a very impressive human. And even though I mock his Game Awards, I always make sure to say the show itself is wonderfully produced and it's entertaining, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not, but it's a very good show he puts on. He should be very proud of his accomplishments. I don't like the awards part. We can talk about that. But this is unacceptable to me, Geoffrey Keighly. If you're watching Geoffrey Keighly, bad form, you have 83 million. You're probably going to go up more than that this year, 100 million, 120 million. And you're not going to use this as an opportunity to educate the consumer, to educate the viewer on what is happening industry-wide at Riot Games, at Activision Games, at Ubisoft. You always say in your interviews, like, well, you know, you grew up and you wanted games to have the Oscars. Well, the Oscars talk about this shit. The Oscars, when there's Harvey Weinstein or when there's shit going down, it comes up. It comes up. You have to mention this, Geoff Keighly. And I know you're going to be like, well, that's going to hurt our... Here's the deal. Are you in this for the long haul or the short haul, baby? Listen, let's be clear. This is between you and me, Geoff. No one else is listening. If you don't take this opportunity, whether you're doing it through a staged person who comes on stage and he says it so you don't have to be the messenger, whatever, or if you look in the camera and say it, if you don't allow your show with this incredibly impressive growing audience to acknowledge and address this issue, then you may win in the short term. You may get more Activision or Ubisoft premieres, but you're going to hurt your brand. Because it's a shitty thing to do, to ignore this and to not speak to this when it is your karmic human responsibility. Now, again, make sure you say alleged, because we don't have proof that these things happened, that Activision and Bobby Kotick and all that are accused of. But it's you know, you're not citing sources like you have one source. This is news all over the world, and not just in video games. If you don't make it clear to your audience that this is happening, A, shame on you, and B, you're going to hurt your brand in the long term. That's what I will say. You might keep the premieres coming in. It won't last. The media for video games. I mean, look at the success of Colin Moriarty, right? I know a lot of people don't like Colin in the media. Colin doesn't need you guys anymore, right? Colin goes right to the fans. You're one of, and you do great. I kick this off by telling you how great I think you are. You do great, but you're one of the last remaining vessels. That's the wrong word. Vestiges. You're one of the last remaining guys. Sometimes you just pick a $2 word. That's all you need. The last remaining fellas out there that can do it the old school way. But most gamers these days, and most customers in general these days, are going right to the fucking source. Okay, and if all you've got is your credibility. And if you stand up on that fucking stage and you don't allow this to be exposed to this massive audience, then you're going to hurt your brand, and more importantly, you're going to hurt your soul. There you go. That's what I say. What do you guys think in the chat? Grow up, Geoff. The show isn't the place for it, and it's foolish for everyone involved. No, it's not. What are you talking about? No one is saying Geoff Keighly needs to look at the camera and say, shame on you, Bobby Kotick. No one is saying that. No one is saying that. What did I say a couple of seconds ago? I said, make sure you say alleged. Fuck you, it's alleged. Make sure you say alleged, right? Isn't that what I said? I'm not saying Geoff needs to stand there and go, bad Bobby Kotick, okay? But I am saying Geoff needs to make it clear, this is what it would go like. I'll write the speech for you. This is the first pass, okay? As we're here tonight to celebrate this industry we all love so much, I do feel it's my responsibility, it's my obligation to call out, to let people know what might be happening in our industry. Now, what I love about America is the justice system suggests and says and demands that you are innocent until you're proven guilty. And that remains true in this story I'm about to tell you. But I want to let you know, you as a consumer of this great product should start including in your research for buying a game. Is it not just the reviews? Is it not just word of mouth? But ask yourself, just like when you go to the store and you say, who makes my food? Is this free range eggs? Is this made ethically? Maybe you don't care. That's fine. You don't have to care. I'm Geoff Keighly. I'm not telling you what to care about. I just want you to know that there's a lot of accusations, very serious accusations about people's safety, people's lives. Some people have committed suicide over this, tragically. How people are treated, how people are paid. There's a lot of talk in this industry about things in certain companies may not be on the up and up. I'm not calling out names. I'm not calling out companies. This is about celebrating the industry. But it would be disingenuous for me to celebrate the industry on one hand and not at the same time let this massive, wonderful, committed, loyal audience that we have built together on the Game Awards know that you probably need to be checking where your games are coming from and make your own decision about how you feel about spending your money. All right, let's get on to the next great important award, Best Esports Coach. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Rathy says what Jaffe wants is for Geoff to be a leader and do something that hurts in the short term but helps in the long term. Rathy says Geoff ain't got him in it. Geoff ain't got it in him. I think Geoff is a good guy. Doug says, we don't have proof. Why aggravate your business partners in front of 100 million viewers? Well, it's not 100 million viewers. Well, okay. Let me ask you this, Doug. Let me ask you this, Doug. You have got Nintendo. You have got Bowser at Nintendo, not the monster, but the executive, the head. You have got Jim Ryan at Sony. You've got Phil Spencer at Microsoft. You have literally got, I think it's 5... maybe it's Secretary of States in different states in America that are publicly saying there are problems at Activision. There are problems that they are not addressing. And you think it's too fucking early? No one's asking Geoff to be a goddamn judge. No one's asking Geoff to make, or a jury and say there's proof. But if all those people I just mentioned can talk about this publicly, you don't think Geoff Keighly, who is speaking directly to the gamers, should talk about this publicly? You're out of your goddamn mind. You're out of your goddamn mind.